Good Saturday morning, everybody. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and it is once again time for what every cruiser wants. Yep, I have 3 new comments for you this week. One from somebody who obviously didn't do any research. One from someone who I think has some technical issues. And one from somebody who knows exactly what everybody wants out there, and he demands that you ask. But when people were asked, turned out he was just wrong. So let's get into today's comments. Now, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it a third time, but there's always people that just don't listen. You got to do a little bit of research sometimes, or use at least a little bit of critical thinking when you book cruises and when you book cruise excursions. A common sense example would be, hey, if you're going to the beach, you're going to be out under the sun, you're going to want to bring sunscreen with you, right? Now, is it the cruise line's responsibility to provide you sunscreen? Or, as an adult, should you know, hey, I'm going to be out in the sun and I might need some? Well, according to this comment, they blame the cruise line. I am new to cruising with Carnival. Very surprised that on our rainforest and cave tubing tour, that Carnival did not provide free mosquito repellent. If you were going to sell jungle trips, provide the means to be protected from mosquito bites. Myself and my partner both had terrible bites. Carnival would not allow us any free medical care back on the ship. So you took an excursion into the rainforest and apparently were surprised that there were bugs? Did you read the description of this particular excursion? A lot of times they say in there, hey, bring some bug repellent. You might see some bugs. But no, it was the cruise line's responsibility to provide them with mosquito repellent. And I'm just curious, if you go to the national park and you're walking through a forest trail in the mountains somewhere and some bugs start to bite you, do you go yell at Smokey the Bear? Is it his responsibility to provide you with mosquito repellent? If you go to Disney World, do you yell at Mickey Mouse because he is not standing there with a can of off to help you out? Chances are the answer to that is, well, no, I wouldn't do that. Well, then why would you do it to a cruise line? It is your responsibility to take the stuff with you that you think you may need. Mosquito repellent, sunscreen, perhaps some seasickness medication. If you have allergies, you probably want to take some allergy medicine. The cruise line is not just going to be there and provide this stuff for you. Then you're super shocked that you go down to medical with these mosquito bites and they won't give you medical treatment for free. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I am using common sense, but you guys let me know what you think about this. Should the cruise lines have provided them mosquito repellent? And when the cruise lines didn't and they got eaten by mosquitoes, should they have been provided free medical service? Because in my opinion, they didn't plan correctly. But you guys let me know what you think and see if you agree or disagree with that comment. Comment number 2. Now look, I'm going to start off by saying I understand that technology can sometimes be a challenge for people. Not everybody has a smartphone. Not everybody likes to use apps, QR codes, keep digital copies of things on their phones. I get that. It's not for everybody. And I kind of get the feeling that maybe with this comment, that's a little bit of what is going on. I am on the horizon. I find it pathetic that there is no business office for passengers to print items off while using the computers on the ships. We always fly Southwest, and if you log in 24 hours ahead of time and print your passes off, you get the better seats. I guess you guys do not care about our journey home. You have our money, so what the hell? Now, while I cannot speak for every cruise ship out there, I have seen printers in the internet cafes. It's not free, but I have seen them there. But like I said, that may not be every single ship. And with Southwest Airlines, you don't have to print anything. You can simply log into Southwest, get on their site, check in, and still get your seats. You don't have to print in order to get seats. So instead, you write in a comment to the cruise lines about not having something that you don't actually require, and then just determine that obviously they don't care about you. But like I said at the beginning, I also think this is a little bit of maybe they're not as into technology as everybody else. Maybe they're not as comfortable or familiar with apps and how things work, as perhaps some other folks are. Don't know that for sure. And, it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Technology is definitely not for everyone. I completely get and understand that. But I also agree that at some point, people have to understand that cruise ships may not have these things because they're simply no longer required. And if you're talking about Southwest Airlines, you don't need to print. And if you absolutely want to print, say your boarding pass, when you get to the airport, they have the kiosks there, or you can go up to the counter and they will print it for you. It does not need to be done on the cruise ship. But let me throw it out there to you guys. Should cruise ships have business centers with printers so you could do these exact kind of things? Or do you think cruise lines are going to use that type of space for something else as technology continues to move forward and the days of printing and having paper in your hand, you know, they're getting further and further behind us? But you guys let me know what you think about this. And finally, we're going to talk about butter. That's right, I said butter. And particularly about a person that, I don't know, I get the impression they don't like butter. They don't care for butter. They think butter is bad for them. And of course, they're entitled to that opinion. But if you're going to write in a comment suggesting that everybody thinks the way you think, you probably should know that ahead of time before you write in a comment like this. Why then is Carnival unaware that Americans are eating less butter and more margarine? Not offering margarine is promoting high cholesterol. A poll would prove your passengers will be asking the waiters for margarine and not those frozen pats of butter. So, people don't want butter. People want margarine according to this individual. And if the poll was done, it would clearly show that people want the margarine and not the butter. At least that's what they contend. Well, here's the fun part about this particular comment. There was a poll. And the poll's choices were you could have butter, margarine, or neither. Well, as you can see on here, at the time that I took this screenshot, 14,800 people had voted, and you can clearly see that butter is a huge, huge winner. Now, I went back and checked at the end of the poll, and 98% of the people who voted, and I want to say it got up to like 17,000 people voted, 98% of the people said they wanted the butter, 2% said they wanted margarine, and 2% said they didn't want either one. Which is why I say, if you're going to write in and say, you do a poll, and you will see that people want margarine, you might want to know ahead of time because 98% of the people did not want margarine. And I think this is a really good example of why you shouldn't come on there and say, everyone agrees with me. Do this and you will see I am right. Because this is a really great example of how you are wrong. Now, some of y'all might have voted on this poll. If you did, or even if you didn't, let me know in the comments below. Would you prefer margarine over butter? Or do you think margarine should have been the winner? Or are you the third category where you don't even use either? Let me know what you guys think about butter versus margarine on cruise ships. And that is going to be our video this week for what every cruiser wants. Now, I don't know about y'all, but some of these weeks that I do this, these comments, they really make me laugh. Because you just can't make this kind of stuff up. I got eaten by mosquitoes. It's somebody else's fault. I'm going to take the time in my life to write a comment about butter. I mean, honestly, who has the time for this kind of stuff? But obviously somebody does, because here we are talking about their comments. Well, I hope everyone has enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Lets you know anytime we put out new videos. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day and a really great weekend. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.